Not about him, though. No. It is about the man who's the back-to-back MVP, four-time total. A man who just got done beating the New England Patriots alongside his teammates of the Green Bay Packers, Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Oh, nice shirt. That's
Hey, boys. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
sound amazing. You look
right.
great. Hey, Man City, here we go, huh? Let's go, boys.
There's going to be a London vibe to the whole show today. I figured I might as well rock my Man City gear. They got a couple games over there this week as well. So, big London week.
Hold on, we just talked about, dude. Haaland. He's like the best player on earth, I guess. We were thinking about betting on him for the World Cup. He's from Norway. So, no, they're not going to win. The United States still going to win. He seems to be a guy. Have you always been a Man City fan?
I have not. I switched allegiances a little over, I don't know, maybe 7-8 years. I was a fan of this other team that plays in the Premier League, and especially one specific player who ended up coaching in the Premier League after other stops, played for the LA Galaxy. And then Man City started reaching out and sending me a bunch of swag, and I said, you know what? All the players I grew up watching on that other team are gone, so I'm going to start pulling for Man City, and they haven't let me down.
Man City chose you. That's all.
Very nice.
You know what I mean? Sometimes your team finds you. It feels like Man City did that with you. Can't wait for you to go experience London. This is the first time the Packers have ever gone. When are you heading out there? Is it early, or are you guys going late in the week?
We're going late. We're going out Thursday, and we don't have a bye after either, which is a little different. A lot of teams have taken byes, so we're going to go out Thursday and land, I think, Friday morning, and then go through a normal Friday, try and stay up Friday as long as possible, deal with the, being a little tired, and then get through the game, and head on back, and then we got a home game the following week.
Was that something you guys talked about? I know every team kind of has their different plan on what they do. Some teams leave early, some teams leave on Thursday like that. Was that something you guys voted on?
I wish there had been a vote. It might have gone a little differently, but there is one final say, as it should be in almost anything. There's one final say, and AJ, you're a huge analytics guy. I'm sure there are a lot of analytics that went into the decision, and it was decided that Thursday was the best day to go, and so here we are.
So when we played over there, there was a lot of analytics shown to us, too, earlier in the week that said going early isn't worth it. You're not going to catch up. The teams that have won have not gone early. They've gone late. Now it's like 23 games over there or whatever the case is, and stats don't tell you anything. I think it works either way. I honestly believe that it doesn't matter if you go early or late. I think if the stats are – because we were told we're going to win for going late, and we lost. And the flight home was terrible. And we didn't get to experience England as much. I assume that is something that you would have looked forward to doing because the Packers were the only team that hadn't gone over there yet, right? Is that accurate?
Well, as my buddy Ty would understand, nobody wants to give up a home game against the Green Bay Packers because, our fans travel well. We're going to show up in the stadium. That place is going to be packed, whether we're playing at a rival team or whether we're playing at a team we only play at their stadium once in 8 years. The Packer fans are going to show up. So this just happened to be with the beautiful 17th game that our union voted on. We were slated to have 9 home games this year and 8 road games, so we decided to take one of those home games, put it in Tottenham, and that's the way it went.
Okay, so let's before we dive all the way in on England, which will be a fun. I'm excited for you to experience the European fans. They're gonna fucking love you over there, dude. They're just like fans of them. When I went, it might be vastly different now. It appears as if it does, but American sport. That's like what they're coming American sport fans, basically. Like, you got a lot of military people, you got a lot of European folks. It's just like an American sport is here, the NFL is here. So not that it isn't just NFL fans, but you're going to be loved over there, I think. I think you're going to be fucking loved. Are you speaking or anything at the press conference? Do you know about that?
I'm sure I got some press conferences lined up. I'm doing some other things during the week, I believe. So I'm excited. It's been, a long time in the making bringing the Packers out there. So excited to be over there. I'm sure there's a lot of Packer fans over there. There's probably at least one Packers bar where they watch the games. I know there's one I went to in Paris a few years ago.
Oui.
And they're all over the country and the world. So excited to see our fans over there. There's a lot of great sports fans over there. They love their soccer. Everybody's kind of got their own team over there. That's probably the sport of the country. But excited to bring our football over there. You know, it's funny thinking back. I don't think England had a team, but NFL Europe. You know, when you hear the stories about NFL Europe, so many guys who went over. And it was going on when I was a young player. Age was a young player. I think it was one of the last years. But those guys had a blast over in Europe because it wasn't just about being, playing for the Rhine Fire or whatever. It was the ability in Europe, as you know, if you've been over there, it's pretty easy to jump from country to country. So you can go over there and get from Germany to England or Italy to France, Switzerland to Hungary, pretty easily. So it's fun. Fun. They all got their own traditions and different food specialties and stuff. So I'm excited to get over there. Look, it's going to be one of those things where we're getting in early Friday morning. I'm not a lot of sleep, so I don't know if there's going to be a ton of time to explore the town.
There won't be, I don't think.
There's a couple things going on. I'd like to go to Wembley. I think actually our U.S. women's soccer team has a friendly against Team England on Friday that we're talking about. Saturday, Man City has a game as well.
The Lady Lions are really good.
Yeah.
The English. Yeah. Remember when we watched them in the Europes?
Yeah, we were. Oh, yeah.
We're talking like 35-yard strikes.
Yeah.
Hey, they're fucking good. That English women's team is really good.
I'm still taking Team USA.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Of course. Hey, for fucking sure. But I'm just saying that game will be I think it'll be an incredible game. I was very fortunate to go over to Europe to play soccer as a teenager multiple times. And it's like a part of my learning curve. It's so fucking old over there, and that just sounds like such a blanket statement. But you just learn the streets are so fucking small, and it's like, well, these were created for way back in the day. And then you just turn the corner and some historic thing happened in a random city in some random town. It's a really cool place to kind of walk around, tour, and see it. I'm kind of bummed you're not able to go over there because I think the conversation after you fucking strutted around England before the game in London would have been fucking epic. But hey, in the off season.
That's right.
In the off season.
How's the water over there? I mean, I know from time to time you find yourself in different bodies of water. Is the water cold over there?
I had a pretty good time.
Yeah.
I had a pretty good time. Yeah, I had a pretty good time over there. I stayed out of the water, but I did end up in a rave in Munich, Germany, in the basement or something one time. And that was quite a scene. I do remember that being quite a scene. Being like, all right, here we are. We're really doing it. And Du Hast was really big at the time,
Oh, yeah.
So
Great
it was,
song.
Yeah, I've lived too many lives. I should have been dead already. But anyways, all right, so let's go back to New England. There was a cool moment after that game with you and Bill Belichick, and then obviously in the press conferences, you both sung each other's praises, and then we heard that there was a conversation pregame and then after game. What do you think that's about, and how long has that been? Do you think it's just mutual respect? Have you guys ever hung around each other, and do you see yourselves being buddies in the future when you're both done with football?
I think so. I think there's a lot of coaches like that. Maybe a half dozen or so that I've met up with in the off seasons or talked to post game that you have a lot of respect for, you've gone against. We had Rod Marinelli, who's the father-in-law of Joe Barry, our defense coordinator, in with us this off season. Had a lot of battles with Rod when he was in Detroit and a lot of other places. A lot of respect for him. It's those things where you hate going against him, but at the end of the day, when you're done playing or he's done coaching, it'd be fun to have those conversations and meet up and talk some ball and talk some stories. But Bill is such a legend, he started coaching long before I got in the league, knew who he was, obviously incredible success, but just being ahead of the curve the way he has with his defensive styles and innovation. And, he's just a fantastic, fantastic coach. Also, ahead of the curve on media, the way that he handles the media has been legendary for decades now. But the thing that touched me that I really appreciated was him coming over pregame. Because post-game, you're always going to have a moment with the other quarterback or head coach or somebody But there's so many cameras and microphones, it's hard to really have a real conversation. But he stopped over when we were just starting our throwing lines and got to chat for, 45 seconds or a minute. And that was really meaningful just because, there's no cameras around, there's no microphones, just, to have, a good conversation, share mutual respect and admiration like that was really cool. And he obviously is a phenomenal coach. He had those guys ready to play, and they shut us down the first half and kept us out of the rhythm. Now, the second half, we got things rolling and started putting some things together, hit some plays, finally hit some throws, and looked kind of more like ourselves. But I had so much respect for Bill.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
What is that? What is it? We always hear people talk about these masterful halftime adjustments that are made. Is that a thing? And how did you feel in the second half compared to the first?
Did you flip a dry erase board or anything? What do we,
Yeah, a lot of halftime adjustments. Look, the first two plays coming out the half, we had incomplete. We're sitting there 3rd and 10, down by 3, really sputtering. And I think there were 2 big plays that happened in the game. The first one was on that 3rd and 10 at 10-7. I hit Allen down the right sideline. He made a fantastic catch. The ball was a little bit lower. He was kind of pushed to the sideline. He jumps on top at the last second and makes a kind of diving catch in front of him. And sometimes it just takes one play like that to get you going. Now we're not on the 25 anymore. Now midfield, we turn that drive into a touchdown to Tunyon after a penalty. That got us going. Then they come right back down. They score. We're down 17-14. What do? We respond. We drive down the field. We miss a 3rd and 3, but didn't convert. But Mason drills a field goal before the end of the 4th quarter. Now we're sitting at 17-17. What happens? They drive right back down, score another touchdown. Sitting there 24-17, and then I turned to Josh. I said, "We're not losing this game. We're gonna get this thing figured out. We're gonna go out and score and handle it." And we, we're right down the field. Had another nice touchdown. Romeo back shoulder ball. Got the ball back again. Another chance. Rome's couldn't quite hold on.
It was a rope.
But we put it together. Overtime was important. The other second play was really important. Was 24-17. We're down. It's 3rd and 6. Cobby runs a great route. I kind of slide left slightly. Dave did a good job kind of pinning this guy inside, and we kind of passed off the twitch pretty good. But I put a ball in a good spot. Randall ran a great route on kind of a sail, we call it, where you kind of bend in and bend back towards the sideline. That got us going. So that was 2 of the biggest plays of the game for sure.
Randall Cobb, everybody's talking about it, commentators. It seems like Packers fans, if Ty is, a good indicator of what everybody else in the Cheesehead Nation is thinking. It feels like Randall Cobb's playing like he was like 5 years ago almost, and the commentators are even noticing it. Is that true, do you think? And how important is it to have that comfort level with a guy that not only where he's going to be and he knows where you're going to put the ball, but also I'm sure that you can have different conversations with him than you can with the younger guys because of the past that you have? And is that why you wanted Randall to be back so much like a year ago? Is it kind of, I don't want to say fulfilling, but is it nice to kind of see this kind of paying off here right now?
Yeah, it's great because I love him. He's such a great friend and phenomenal teammate and leader. I really feel like he needs some more playing time. He's made plays in every game that he's played. There's always 1 or 2 plays where he had two huge plays in the game. He had that both on 3rd down, 3rd and 6. He catches on the sideline for 20-something. 3rd and 1 on our last drive we're like at the mid 40s. We do an action. He runs a beautiful through route. I hit him, 1st down, move the sticks. Then I hit 2 plays to Rome. Next thing you know, we're in field goal range. I think he needs more opportunities for sure. He's earned them. Big kudos to him, though. He figured out how to get his body back. He's stayed healthy so far, but he went through the entire offseason program, OTAs, busted his ass, and earned the opportunity he's gotten, and probably more. So I look forward to some more snaps for him because every time he's out there, he's making explosive games. I was teasing him this is going to be his highest yards per catch that he's had in his career because he's having 2 or 3 catches a game, and at least one of them's an explosive play. He had 2 catches against the Buccaneers, both explosive plays, 17 yards on 3rd and 8, and then 40 yards on an RPO. And this last game, obviously 2 huge 1st down plays, and then he decided to pitch the ball back to Elton Jenkins on the other one. Which one of the great, probably the best catch of the game, and nobody's going to talk about is I throw it to Randall, and they were, we're in the minus 41, which is still in Hail Mary range. So they were bringing 5, and I thought maybe a punt return type play would have a better opportunity than maybe rolling out, getting drilled, not getting the ball off. Randall, I guess, was thinking it was, lateral last play of the game instead of going and getting it. And then, if you get down there, maybe inside the plus 30 or so, maybe look to the lateral. He, went right to Elton. Elton catches the shoestring, lateral back to him and falls down. Best catch of the game by far.
Jeez. Hey, how valuable is it to have a guy like Randall that knows like all the little things, like the attention to detail you want on all these routes. He's there all spring, all summer. Like he can explain to dudes like, hey, no, that you need to run that thing at 11, not 12. Like he can give those guys so much knowledge. Like I would imagine having that for you is a huge weight off of you too.
Yeah, finally, AJ, you make a great point.
Atta baby, AJ!
Here we go. Have fun and cutter.
That to me is as big of a role for him as anything. It's to be able to translate the way that I play and the expectation to the young guys when I'm not in that room. I'm telling you, it is the most important quality possibly that he adds to our football team. Obviously, he's still an explosive player. He can still run great routes. You watch the tape back, he's getting open consistently. But his ability to be that voice in the room, along with Allen, the two oldest guys in the room that played me the longest, Cobby obviously much longer than Allen, to be able to explain the little intricacies of plays is priceless, I promise you. And to rely on Christian Watson and Romeo Dobbs, a couple young guys, and have that voice in the room, man, it's gold right there.
Let's talk about the wide receivers a little bit. Romeo Dobbs appears to be a guy in the making. Makes some mistakes, though. There's a fumble. There's a drop ball. Thought it was a touchdown. I think you thought it was a touchdown as well because I think the rules have evolved enough. He had it. I don't know. I think if he maintains some sort of possession in the end zone, they call it, whatever the case, that doesn't happen. But since Devontae isn't there, do you think you find yourself like going back to Dobbs where maybe in a time in the past, if a fumble happens or a drop happens or a wrong route happens, you would maybe be like, I don't know if I can trust this guy? Or is this just a natural because you have respect for what Romeo Dobbs has been able to do thus far?
Well, I think it's part of all of that. I mean, a big part is he's going to be out there. So there's no choice but to go to him in certain situations. He runs some routes better than others. He's learning. We still got to get him to be a better intermediate route runner. He does a nice job on the deep balls, stacking and creating separation. Obviously, he's in tune with the back shoulder if that's necessary. He had one in preseason and had some in training camp. The best part is before that play, I looked over him and made a check. Now, it wasn't a real easy one. Thankfully, I've made the same check to him in one-on-one drills during training camp.
Here we go.
And this is when I talk about it a lot. The ability to recall things that happen from practice and be able to, in a snap, execute them in a game is one of the most important qualities in earning trust from myself and the offense and getting the ball thrown your way. So, before the snap, I made kind of an arbitrary, semi-vague-ish, unless you understand the entire nature of what I'm doing. And he, whether he did this subconsciously or whether he was expecting this, he had gotten that check before, ran the appropriate route, and the ball obviously was in a decent spot, made a beautiful hands catch. And it's a fun play to go back and laud a guy like that for his ability to recall what I want in that situation and then to go execute. Now, as far as the other one, which would have been a really special one to go up 31-24 there, that's a big learning process for him. There's no reason for him not to take a hand off the ball. Turn your body, double wrap it, whatever you got to do. You're in the end zone, just secure the catch to the ground. Did I think that was a catch? Obviously, right away I did until Matt Judon was standing next to me and goes, "Oh, he dropped it." I was about to be celebrated with Elton and Dave and the guys, but that's a learning experience for him because that's a play that needs to be made. He runs a great route. The ball, maybe slightly underthrown, but in a spot we can catch it and secure it, and we need him to finish that play off. He had a nice game. That would have been a spectacular game, finish that one to the ground.
He's going to be a guy, though, it sounds like, and you think that, too. That's why you're saying the stuff you're saying. I can't wait to watch the evolution.
I think both guys can be dudes, What do you like to call guys who are dudes?
Dogs!
Yeah, I think both guys can be that kind of player. It's gonna be how does their confidence progress? How many plays can they lock and anchor into their mind for those places to go back to and think about when they've had maybe a stretch where they haven't played their best ball or maybe they need some inspiration? How many memories can they lock into their brain that they can easily access in the moment? And then how do they work on their craft? It'll be big jumps, opportunities for them between years 1 and 2 and 2 and 3 especially that we see from a lot of young players. But I think they both have opportunities to be really, really good players in the league.
Dogs.
Hey, what is going back to the Patriots defense and Bill Belichick? When you face a team coached by Belichick and a defense, I guess what sets him apart? Is it that you never really know how they're going to try to defend you? I know they're famous for changing up their game plan, how they defend people from week to week. Is that the biggest challenge that they seem to give everybody, really?
It's adjustments, yeah. I mean, they obviously self-scout. I think self-scouting is so important for every unit, offense, defense, special teams, because that's what the opposing people are looking at. They're looking at what you're doing. So you have to be a master in not only what you're doing, but what you're showing on tape. So you can have adjustments off of your staples and the patterns that you've been showing throughout a game. And what Bill does is studies himself, obviously, and their defense, and then goes back and switches things up. And so you might think coming in, oh, they're going to play a bunch of 5 down front, and if they're not, they're going to be an over front. This backer is the most likely to pressure. They like to bring this thing. They like to bring a lot of empty and have this great plan. They come out and run something completely different. And the other part is on that play to Dobbs, what they do so well is their ability to adjust. So pre-snap, we're in an empty formation, right? And they show double.
Is this the touchdown to Dobbs or no? Which one is this?
The one he dropped. This is the one he dropped.
Oh, okay, we got that actually. I think pulled up. I think we actually have that.
Oh, good. We can talk through this. Will be great.
I think so. Yeah, this is it right here, right?
Yeah.
Right. It's kind of far away. I know what happened, but pre-snap. So pre-snap, they showed a 6-man up front. I made a check for a little extra protection. Now, what did they do on the back end? They're not playing zero coverage, right? They went to a 1-high coverage and only rushed 4 guys. Obviously, Rome's take it to the ground, buddy. That's a tug. But what I mean by that is that there's not many defenses that audible, where they have a play called, we come up, make a check, and then they check. It was so fun against Brian back in the day, Urlacher, because they had not only a bunch of checks, but they had a bunch of dummy checks too. So you never quite knew, were they actually checking out of 1-high and the 2-high, or were they checking to do a blitz, were they mixing things up? So we had to play this cat and mouse game, and it definitely made me a better player. But with Bill, I checked to something, they checked right out of it and went to a coverage snap because they knew we were probably loading up for an empty pressure situation, and that's the beauty in what they do. They're very well prepared.
Ty Schmidt.
Aaron, I think for most Packers fans, or at least speaking for myself, just watching the offense, it's pretty easy to see that, later in the season, you guys will get things completely figured out, and that's why there's really no panic whatsoever, even after a game like that on Sunday where, it's probably closer than it should have been. Even you alluded to it. With Christian Watson, he's been super effective on kind of the jet sweep, jet motion type of stuff. And you had like one of those shots to him where he couldn't really get his head around, looked like he had a nice opportunity. Is there anything that you see that, he needs to do to kind of be more effective in the passing game? And also I saw Odell Beckham tweeted out like, man, hey, AR-12 is special. Mm-hmm. Someone said, hey, can you imagine playing with him? And he basically said like, oh, man, it'd be unbelievable. I don't know if you saw that. If you did, what kind of relationship do you have with him? And is that something you'll maybe keep tabs on moving forward?
Great question.
That's a long 2-part, 2 different subject question there, Ty. Very, very well done, my friend.
Oh,
I'll start with the first answer with Christian. Look, I tell you, he's got special speed. He really does. He's got incredible stride length. When you watch the film back, it's similar to watching Devontae his rookie year. There were games where I didn't give Devontae a ton of looks. You go back and watch the film, you're thinking, man, this guy is open often, And it's like that from time to time with Christian. There's a few routes, not as much as Devontae. I just think Devontae was a little more polished route runner as a rookie. But there's a few times where I might need to give him a second look, even when things don't look great from the start, because he does have that different type of speed. But we're finding ways to use him. I think, again, we got to have patience. It is interesting, Ty, to think about. We had 440-something yards of offense, and we scored 27 points, and we had a nice second half. I wouldn't say there's a ton of problems to fix with the offense. We were running the heck out of the ball.
True.
Jonesy had a
but at the beginning, dude, people watch the first 5 minutes and then they're out,
Quarter game.
Yeah.
It's a 4-quarter game. Sometimes you have to go into a 5th quarter. But look, I like the things we did on offense, especially in the second half. But game's going to be like that, But we have 2 great backs with different styles. I thought AJ ran the ball really hard and tough, and Jonesy did his thing, slashing all over the place. And then we found a way to get Allen involved early and often. He had a 100-yard game, which was great. Obviously, like I said, Cobby needs some more opportunities. We need to keep eating the ball to Cobby. And then using Dobbs and Christian in spots to get them the ball when it makes sense. I like where we're at. Obviously, I said we're going to be a work in progress. We have been. There's been parts of games where we've really played well. It's just that consistency, and I feel like we're going to figure it out. We're going to get it going, but there's a lot to build on. Especially 440 yards, 1 sack.
Yeah, but you guys didn't have 600 yards, dude.
No.
So
could have been better.
So
that's why stats can be used in a lot of different ways. But the
whoa. Sounds like you weren't talking about football there. What's that all about? Sound like you weren't talking about football. That sounded a little personal. Moving on, though. The Odell Beckham Jr. Series of tweets is right here. We have it. It is AR is 2 with 3 O's, so that's not just 2. That's 2.
Fire emoji.
Fire, dude. Yeah. Honestly, bro makes it look effortless. Effortless, capital E, because E is for extra, and you're extra effortless, dude.
That's right.
Then Chris Williamson at C Williamson 44, he is on your side. Says a lot of damage could be done with you and Rodgers. Odell Beckham goes, who you telling? That's a different breed right there, pal. Obviously, you have seen this. You're on Twitter all the time. You probably were told this by everybody in your surrounding family. Have you heard about this? And what does this mean to you whenever somebody who's like Odell Beckham Jr. says, hey, this guy's really fucking good at the football, and it would be awesome if we played football together?
Odell and I have been friends for a number of years now, and so we keep in contact, often. We talked at various times over the years, and obviously with a player like that, you're always hoping that there's a time where you can figure things out and play together. But he's a special talent, and I was really happy for him last year and see how they used him in LA and for him to get a ring. And obviously he was dominating the game to start that game until the injury. I'm not sure what his status is going to be, honestly, and I don't think I'm speaking out of turn. I mean, I think you'd probably say the same thing. I don't know as anybody that rehabs as hard as him. I mean, he works. He's got a nice place, supposedly. I heard this on the telecast that he's been rehabbing in Bahamas. That's got
nice.
Pretty nice down there. If that's true, you know how stories go. Don't let the truth get in the way of good stories. Sometimes you're talking about rehab or how good your body is or what kind of shape you're in. There's always stories about that. But I like Odell a lot and appreciate his friendship. And I first and foremost just want to see him healthy. He's dealt with a number of major injuries in the last 5 years and surgeries and rehabs, and most important thing is him getting healthy. And then, I'm sure he'll have a kind of his pick of competitive playoff teams who are looking at a stud like that to their roster.
Hell yeah, come to the Colts.
Mm-hmm. Well,
what?
Why would you want to go play for a 4-12 team at
All
the
right,
time?
let's move on. Okay,
17 games. There's 17 games tied.
I know at the time.
No, we tied one.
Oh yeah, good point.
It's 4-16 or 4-12.
4-12-1.
That's tough, dude. Anyways, you do plants with Odell Beckham Jr. How close of friends are we talking?
I haven't yet. But
Okay.
Nice.
All right. I didn't know.
Dude, I think I'd enjoy that.
Yeah, I think that would be a hilarious. Would love to be a fly on the wall. Tone Diggs has a question for you.
Pat, we can make that happen.
Okay, I'll be a fly on the wall there. That'll make me smaller. Do some plants.
You couldn't be a fly there. You'd have to be a participator.
Yeah, I do love the plants. We know that. I mean, I think I could be a part of it. It'd be fantastic. Next offseason, let's go win another MVP, huh?
Hell yeah.
Let's go win a Lambo. Tone Diggs, back from paternity leave, has a question for you, Aaron.
Yeah, Aaron, I was doing some deep thinking. Mac Brown once told Pat, when he was at Texas, at one point the wins were a relief and the losses were devastating. Is that anything that ever creeps in your head, the later you get into career, with this current Packers team at all?
Well, I'm not going to agree with anything Mac Brown says after he voted us so low in the 2004 polls.
Yeah, fuck that guy, dude. I can't believe he did that. That's unbelievable. He's a really nice guy to me, but I can't believe he did that to you. Rude.
But, no, I don't really understand what he's saying. The wins are I wouldn't ever call a win a relief. It's hard to win in the NFL. Doesn't matter if you're beating the third-string quarterback at home. It's still difficult to win. I think one thing that I do feel strongly about, and AJ, you played in Green Bay for a long time, we rarely, this is kind of a blanket statement, but we rarely get a rollover from a team. There's rarely a time when somebody comes in a Lambeau and they just roll over. there's a few times over the years, 2014 against the Bears when I threw 6 tuggers in the first half.
Yep.
Landlord, that's the landlord.
Wow.
That's the
We
landlord.
played Tennessee at home one year, and in the cold around Christmas, and beat them like 55-7 or something.
Titans just beat the shit out of Colts.
But there haven't been a lot of like rollovers. Teams come to Lambeau. It's an epic place to play. It has all the history, and it's the Green Bay Packers. We're going to get their best shot. We expect tough games every time we come to town or every time somebody comes to Green Bay. So obviously it'd be easier if all 3 phases were just absolutely humming and we could, steamroll some teams. And I'm guessing there'll be a few of those this season, but we're not gonna ever feel like it's a relief to win. We're gonna celebrate all those wins.
Hell yeah.
Learn our lessons from our defeats and our tough moments, but
Hell yeah.
but no, we're gonna celebrate the hell out of those wins. We're gonna have a nice helping of scotch after all of them,
Right.
and get on down the road.
Hell yeah.
Okay. Thought we were gonna maybe.
Hey, what do you think of these stadiums over there that the whole field lifts up and there's different layers and all of a sudden field turf comes up and the grass is removed? Like, is that something we're going to see here eventually?
I hope not, because they're pulling up the grass and they're putting in the turf.
Yeah.
We talked about that last week on the show, right? What seem, I mean, you have to look at the analytics here, but it seems like more opportunities, at least for injuries on a non-grass field. I think it's kind of funny. Obviously Tottenham is a wealthy team over there and got a great football club. They don't want anybody playing on their special grass, right? Their pitch, yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
It is.
Yeah.
And they spend obviously a ton of money, being able to roll out one and roll in the other. But no, I'd obviously always first and foremost love to play on grass. But it is, pretty cool. Arizona, right? They have the rolling, but they have grass at the University of Phoenix. Or no, sorry, it's called the State Farm Building now, isn't it?
Well, who knows? In
I
Pittsburgh, they're
believe
playing in the Acrisure. Did you know that? Acrisure in Pittsburgh now.
In Pittsburgh.
Yeah, Lambeau always going to be Lambeau, huh? Ever going to get sponsored? Do you think? We saw your tax statements, I guess, for the Packers, making like $200 million or something in real estate around Lambeau. Lambeau itself is a big enough brand name, right? I mean, that place is fucking packed every single home game. Is that how it is, just in Lambeau?
Yeah, but look, the league is about dollars, and if there's more ways to make dollars, and somebody wants to come in and put their name on the stadium at Lambeau Field.
Could you imagine?
Stadium of Lambeau
Look at
Field.
Ty. Aaron, look at Ty right now. I mean, he is just not, he's about to puke right there.
Don't you fucking dare. I don't know who's going to do it. Don't you stay away.
Ty, I'm with you. I don't want it to happen either.
I know.
But, we had patches on our jerseys in, COVID year, and who knows? The NBA obviously went to that, and they're making a ton of money. I'm sure on that. Obviously, look at soccer. They've been doing it for a long time. The naming rights and the jersey rights for the Premier League are incredible fees that are paid. Obviously, it's good marketing because you see it all over the place. But
yeah, I want to jump in a Etihad.
It'd be interesting. Purists, traditionalists like myself, and obviously Ty Schmidt wouldn't want to see that, but I think it's definitely possible.
What is that on the shirt there? I know Puma. Puma's still doing their thing. Etihad Airways.
Etihad Airways.
Hell yeah, dude. Fucking sign me up. Mm-hmm. Does that marketing work? That's a whole deeper conversation. I was at the Colts game, and the Colts stadium is like a NASCAR. It's just got advertisements just kind of stamped on different areas. And unless it's like an immediate purchase.
We're the biggest sports business in the States for sure, and our reach is worldwide, but this is the NFL, man.
Yeah,
People watch it. Look at the ratings in the games. They're incredible, right? The Sunday night game, Monday night, Thursday night's supposedly doing pretty good too. Monday night got it fixed, with Joe and Troy, and I'm sure that they're doing really, really well. Sunday night is always going to rate super high. What are you laughing about?
Well, Monday night got it fixed. that was hilarious. That was a very nice, like, just casual. You know what I mean? Just casual. Observer, you're a fan.
It can be casual like that. I'm a big Troy and Joe fan, so I think they do a great job. I worked with them for a long time with EA on Fox, and love those guys. And I've tuned in with the sound on and enjoyed the broadcast.
Hey, look at football. Yeah. That's good for football. All right, enough about football. You're going to England this week. Safe travels, mate. Have a good one over there, lad. It is time. It is time to continue one of the greatest traditions that this show has. One of the most impactful things this show's ever been a part of.
That's right.
Yep.
Definitely the smartest thing we've ever been a part of, but also maybe the only thing that survived this long because of how awesome it is for this particular program. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time now for book 3 of Aaron Rodgers' Book Club Season 2.0. At first, we were told to read the beautiful book, The Mastery of Love. God damn, it was great. We all became doctorates and we had our master's program of love. Then there was another book that was awesome. It was titled 1984 by George Orwell, which is also a movie, I've been told.
That's right.
And I'll tell you what, a lot of conversation around Aaron Rodgers picking this book for his book club. This week's book is
The Art of Contemplation by Richard Rudd.
Oh, that's good art. That's good art. I love art.
Paul's brother.
And I think, Pat, you would really enjoy this book. Number one, it's around 100 pages.
Yes. Good. Big
So
font?
you can probably get through it in a week. But Richard Rudd is a dear friend. He's an Englishman. He wrote an incredible book called The Gene Keys, which is out there. That one, I think, Pat, would take you a little bit longer. That's in the 500 or 600, 700 pages.
Oh, that's never, That's.
But The Art of Contemplation is a brilliantly written book, simple in nature but deep in wisdom. And Richard is a very, very wise human being and a dear friend. And I'm really hoping to see him this weekend we get over there. But I would definitely check out this book as a kind of intro to Richard and his writing style and, like I said, his deep wisdom. And again, it's about 100 pages, Pat, so you could probably get through it in a couple of sittings.
That's amazing. I assume you're the only NFL quarterback in the history of the England game to be meeting up with a fucking author over there. I do love that. I appreciate that. That's why the book club's so special. And did you take any of the wisdom from the book to contemplate whether or not the microphone was on when you said snap the fucking ball to the center? Because, America heard that, and I don't have kids yet, but my kids almost heard that, Aaron, and that was an awesome moment in there. I just want to let you know that, and that's the art of contemplation in my mind,
Yeah, one of the techniques in the art of contemplation is called pausing, right? So when there's a situation that comes up, instead of reacting right away, it's taking a beat and letting the emotions kind of flow through you. I did not practice the art of contemplation that moment.
Hey, we're growing, aren't we?
Yeah.
We're getting better. The book club is fantastic, as are you. Safe travels. We appreciate the hell out of you. Ladies and gentlemen, Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Take a beat.
Take a beat.
Pause. Come on.
Think
You'll
about it.
definitely read that book.
Me?
Yeah.
I'm contemplating it.
Ooh, boom. Sounds like you already
Think about
started
it.
it.
Tell me if it's an art or not.